Good evening, all. Welcome to tonight's meeting of the executive. The meeting this evening will be live streamed to the public. Any exempt private items on the agenda, the live stream will cease prior to the meeting moving into private. There may be a short delay. A recording of the public part of the meeting will be available on the council's website within 24 hours of the meeting. Would members and officers please remember to switch on microphones when speaking and speak directly, and switch off when finished. Please put your mobile phones onto silent or off. Any officer called upon the portfolio holder should address the executive using the presenting officer microphones at the rear of the council chamber. Angela, apologies for absence.
Yeah, we've received apologies from Councillor Javira Hussain, Councillor Shaw and Councillor Simmons.
Mahmood?
Khadija Malik sends her apologies. She's arriving late back in the country.
Okay, thank you. Next item, can I ask members if we can sign off the minutes of the full council at on the 21st of May 2042, the portfolio. Is that approved? Thank you. And also the public decision sheet of the 3rd of June. Are we happy the minutes are reflective and correct? Thank you. We don't have any references from committees or other bodies tonight. We don't have any recommendation from scrutiny reviews, and we don't have any petitions. So the first item of business tonight is Children's and Family Education term dates for community schools 2025 and 26. And I think I'm going to take item 8. Executive is asked to approve. The executive is recommended to approve the 25-26 academic year set out Appendix A for Luton's community schools and maintained nursery schools. The proposed academic calendar will ensure the children receive the entitlement of 190 days of education per academic year. The proposed term dates align with neighbouring local authorities and the wider Eastern region head teachers, and the trade unions are supportive of the proposed academic calendar. Any questions? Are we happy to approve? Thank you. Thank you. The next item on the agenda is item 9, Transformation Programme Update. I believe that's over to you, Councillor Roach.
Thank you, Chair. Luton Council is facing unprecedented financial challenges with increasing demand for high-cost services such as children's social care, children with special education needs and disabilities, adult social care and homelessness. Wider demographic and cost pressures and a national funding formula that sees Luton being the second most underfunded borough in the country according to need. Meeting this financial challenge is going to be difficult, but the Council is committed to achieving the 2040 vision and priorities, protecting the most vulnerable whilst promoting independence, a whole system approach working in partnership with our community and ensuring value for money in everything we do. In January, Executive agreed the Council Transformation Programme and funding for a series of projects to develop future operating models that would deliver savings or incomes and improved outcomes. The report coming tonight sets out the findings of those reviews that have identified 5.96 million of annual budget savings to be achieved over the next 3 years and 4.6 million of deficit recovery on areas on high demand. The 6 projects listed in paragraph 8 have all concluded, and more detail is set out in paragraphs 10 to 14 and the appendices, including new operating models for customer access, neighbourhoods, commercialism and homelessness. We now need to move into delivery to realise these opportunities. The scale of changes varies and some will require further executive decision making, but we're confident they can be delivered. However, we will need to invest to achieve this change, from increasing our internal capacity, new technology, specialist advice and challenge, project management and system service process redesign. This is a Luton programme led by and delivered by Luton. We've set out high-level delivery plans in Appendix F, and we're developing our delivery teams that will be a blend of internal capacity and expertise for support and challenge from external parties where it adds value. We're also establishing a programme management of office to work closely with finance and ensure we track delivery closely with a single view of change and savings. These 6 projects are the start of our transformation programme. It's a 3-year programme and we're developing our pipeline of future projects, the first of which are set out in paragraph 19. Lastly, whole system transformation of this scale doesn't come without risk. These are set out in paragraph 21, where we set out the mitigations being put in place. Executive are being asked to note the conclusion and opportunities identified from the second phase of the Council Transformation Programme, endorse the principles set out in paragraph 15 that build on those previously agreed as part of the Council's medium-term financial strategy, agreed to the release of up to 1.5 million from Investor Save Reserve to invest in the next phase of the transformation programme and to delegate authority to the Deputy Chief Executive in consultation with the portfolio holder and Director of Finance to approve the allocation of funding to specific projects subject to an assessment of costs, benefits, risk and return on investment and any variation to the proposed work plan. Progress and spend will be reported back to the Executive every 6 months. I commend this report to the Executive. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Any questions from any members? Are we happy to approve then? Thank you. Item 10, I believe that's over to you, Councillor Roach.
Thank you, Chair. This report sets out the provisional revenue and capital outturn position for the financial year 23-24 and has to be viewed within the wider context of significant challenges faced by the Council. Throughout the year, the Executive have been kept informed with regard to the financial pressures faced by the Council and the effort made by departments to continue to deliver vital services. The Council approved the 24-25 budget in February and the financial challenge has not eased, and the need to deliver the deficit recovery plan and the transformation programme is even more pressing. The final quarter figures demonstrate that this challenge is getting even harder as the increase in demand for social care and housing is still not abating. In recent months, there are more authorities facing difficult financial challenges and are concerned about future levels of government funding, irrespective of whoever forms the next government. 23-24 has not been without major difficulties faced by the Council, in spite of which a break-even outturn position has been achieved. This has been possible through the combined application of 3.1 million in general contingencies and a reported underspend of 5.8 million against borrowing costs. It is important to consider that there are a number of significant issues that have resulted in a 9.3 million core service overspend. These include increasing demand on services in adult social care, increasing in the number of bed and breakfast and nightly paid accommodations, increasing in children care placements and school transport costs, increasing in the number of vulnerable residents requiring additional support in addition to the accommodation costs, recruitment challenge and the use of agency staff, interest rates staying higher for longer, cost of living crisis having an impact on demand for vital council services, reduced commercial income reflecting a change in the property market post-COVID. However, there were also positive contribution factors to the overall outturn position. The over-recovery of housing benefit overpayment amounted to 1.8 million, and the underspend in energy costs not increasing by as much as the cautious assumption made in the budget amounted to 1.5 million. These have helped to achieve a balanced budget without recourse to reserves. An overview of the general fund outturn position is shown in table 1 of the report. The overall position of the general fund revenue outturn position is almost break even against its 156.8 million revenue budget. The gross core service deficit before the application of corporate items and release of contingency amounted to 9.3 million, which is net of 2 million of savings delivered already. The deficit recovery plan, as described in paragraph 25, amounts to 16.7 million. The provisional outturn showed 2.9 million of savings were delivered in 23-24. Full details are in paragraphs 24 and 25 of the report, but the main shortfalls relate to adults and children's services, temporary accommodations, children's home to school transport, supported living and corporate property estate repairs and maintenance and shortfall in income. Appendix 1 of the report provides detailed information on the main reasons for the 9.3 million overspend per department. These have been reported in the main throughout the course of the year. The General Fund unreserved balances remain at 14 million. General Fund earmarked reserves increased slightly, mainly due to the carry forward of budgets to be spent in the following year. The 24-25 budget and medium-term financial plan is challenging and based on very uncertain fiscal and political environment. Any savings not delivered have been reprofiled to be delivered over the next 2 years as set out in the 24-25 budget. This would require further work, good project management and continual focus on the issues by the services concerned at a time when there are a number of competing priorities. The report regarding the Council's transformation programme, agenda item 9 discussed earlier, highlights the plan to deliver further savings. This will require close and ongoing review, monitoring and reporting. The 24-25 budget has made provision for additional funds to deal with some of the budget pressures reported in 23-24. On the capital expenditure, the base budget for 23-24 capital programme was approved at 198.066 million, 160.373 million for General Fund and 37.693 million for the Housing Revenue Account. Previous slippage of 121.133 million has brought the revised budget to 76.934 million at the beginning of Q4. The main reasons for the slippage have been explained at Appendix 3, and notably the stage and housing projects. The stage is a crucial element of Luton Town Centre Master Plan to levelling up and Luton's inequalities, and has the potential to provide a number of benefits to all residents in terms of well-being and the environment. Despite currently experiencing slippage due to project design approval and consultation timelines, this project is expected to start in due course. With regards to Arclight House, an investment property building owned by the council situated in Swindon, there is a substantial underfunded spending amount to 3.1 million in total. 1.28 million spent in 23-24 relates to the work carried out on dilapidations. This is being looked to, and a report will be presented back to the executive with findings and recommendations. Schools have a rolling capital programme which aligns with the school year. The variances are mainly due to the overlap between the school year and the financial year. Other variances on the capital programme are mainly because of the timing differences. Capital projects do not adhere to one financial year and can operate more flexibly as long as they are closely monitored within budget and completed on time. The housing revenue budget was set with a contribution to balances of 2.1 million in line with regulations that required contributions from revenue to support capital improvements and additions to the housing stock. The final position is an underspend of 989,000 compared to the original budget, given a final contribution to balances of 3.102 million for the year. The contributions to the capital programme enables the council to build additional properties in order to partly replace those lost under the right to buy schemes. Under the dedicated schools grant, there was a net overall overspend of 3.882 million, comprising of an overspend of 2.886 million in individual school budgets and a 0.996 million in central schools budget. As a result, at the end of 23-24 drawdown of 2.886 million was required from individual school reserves, while drawdown of 0.996 million was needed from a total of 24.6 million dedicated school grant reserves brought forward from the previous years. The financial position has to be monitored closely, as the budget pressures in the higher needs block is a major factor towards the overspend. I'd just like to say, just in case members ain't aware, if the dedicated school grant fails, then it has to come to the general fund for it to be paid. So just need to be aware of that. That's why we need to monitor it. On the public health grant received from 23-24 was 16.7 million. The grant was fully utilised as per grant conditions. However, the service also utilised additional 0.174 million of the public health ring-fence reserves brought forward with the previous years on specific projects to support the enhanced various public health activities in 23-24. On the trading accounts, at the time of budget set in 23-24, the target net profit for the year was 931,000. The final outturn of all trading accounts is now showing a net position of 1.246 million. This means that net profit was overachieved by 315,000 compared to the approved budget. The recommendations are set out in the report, and the financial challenge facing the council cannot be underestimated. The deficit recovery plan and transformation programme have to be delivered at pace and scale, taking into account the costs, benefits and any risk involved in delivery of the project.
Thank you, Rob. Any questions? There's no question. Are we happy to approve and make a note of the report? Thank you.